1977. There's no doubt drug and substance addiction is a social menace and poses a lot of problems: poverty, broken relationships with both families and friends, and most crimes root from drugs.
The next section provides a summary of the relevant research on substance abuse, highlighting its prevalence, causes, and current initiatives to combat it in the Philippines. The prevalence of substance abuse in the Philippines is high, and the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or the PDEA, has reported that criminal organizations are using social media platforms to promote marijuana use and other narcotics, making them easily accessible to people, as mentioned in Mendoza's study from 2022.
Now we will be talking about the causes of substance abuse in the Philippines. And a study by Hembra discovered that drug usage among adults in the Philippines is highly associated with poverty, and other contributing factors include unemployment, lack of education, and social cultural norms that condone drug use.
Now let's proceed to Philippines' efforts to address substance abuse. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte launched Oplan Tokan or Oplan Operation Double Barrel in 2016, a comprehensive campaign against illegal drugs. Its aim was to address both drug supply and demand. Drug lobbies and distributors were targeted by the government to reduce the drug supply. Simultaneously, community leaders and local police visited known drug users, urging them to surrender and seek treatment voluntarily. Willing surrenderers had the opportunity for community-based treatment as stated by the Philippine Dangerous Drugs Board. However, like the Asian countries, compulsory residential treatment was primarily relied upon to tackle drug use. To address the high number of drug users, communities have developed their own programs including community service, counseling, and spiritual development. For the next one, we have challenges in implementing drug abuse treatments in the Philippines. The lack of mental health funding is a major obstacle to drug abuse treatments in the Philippines. Only 5 to 7% of the budget is allocated to healthcare, with mental health receiving low priority. Furthermore, there's a shortage of mental health professionals, particularly outside urban areas. For instance, there's only one licensed psychologist per 100,000 Filipinos. The widespread stigma against drug users and reluctance to seek treatment also pose challenges. According to studies, Filipinos find it difficult to open up to strangers because they fear their family's image would be damaged if they are seen as insane after consulting an expert.
Hello everyone, I am Isabella and we have two proposed solutions for our media campaign proposal. Our first solution is substance abuse awareness and prevention webinars, which are targeted at the youth, while our second solution is recovery programs and rehabilitation, which are targeted at adults or individuals who are already addicted. Now, for our substance abuse awareness and prevention webinars, we'll have three major objectives to accomplish. These three objectives are here to help guide us in successfully communicating with and teaching the youth. Our first objective will be to highlight the importance of communication while delivering information. The second is to increase the students' understanding and knowledge while delivering information about what substance abuse is, how to prevent it, and how it can negatively impact their lives. Now, our last objective is to provide the students with useful and practical tips that they can use to prevent substance abuse in their lives or how to properly identify and conduct an intervention. Now, here is our proposed webinar flow that we wish to follow. We will first start by welcoming the students to the webinar, followed by the introduction of the guest speaker and the topic of substance abuse. The speaker shall have a discussion about substance abuse and then communicate to the students that they fully understand and are aware of the topic through an engaging activity. After such, we will then discuss possible prevention and intervention strategies for individuals, families, and communities, and also explain to the students the importance of being aware of substance abuse. At the very end, we'll have the closing of the webinar. We wish to follow this webinar flow not to only enhance our teaching and communication with the youth, but also to take advantage of the time given for these webinars. Now, for our guest speaker in our webinar, we are looking for a specific type of person to be our guest speaker, which is someone who has had past experience with substance abuse, in order to expressively communicate his firsthand experiences and the impact substance abuse has had on his life. Now, how will we find our guest speaker? Well, we will find our guest speaker by putting ads out on social media and holding interviews with any volunteers. And regarding how much we will pay the guest speaker, it will depend on the budget we have provided for the webinar. Now, our webinar will have the proposed budget of 5,000 pesos, whereas 2,500 pesos will be spent on a token of appreciation for the speaker. Then the remaining 2,500 pesos will be spent on any miscellaneous purchases or bills to be paid. Now we will move on to our second proposed solution.
For the next proposed solution, we have the recovery programs and rehabilitation. This has always been a great way of supporting adults to overcome their addiction to drugs. But the problem is, the treatment of addiction to drug has been segregated from the rest of healthcare, conceptually, organizationally, and financially. This is the reason why this is our second proposed solution, as we aim to provide help and support to existing recovery programs and rehabilitations, and to address the addiction crisis, rebuild lives, and foster hope to addicts. So to support, we need to create four groups. One group for advocates, one for volunteers, one for donors, and one group for event organizers. The advocate group should help raise awareness about the addiction and the importance of recovery program and rehabilitation centers in the Philippines through social media or through webinars and seminars. The volunteer group should volunteer in a nearby recovery program or rehabilitation facility. The donor group should make a financial contribution or to provide goods like food, clothing, medical and medical supplies. And lastly, event organizer group should propose and host fundraising events such as charity concerts. The budget for this is not a problem since most of the tasks needed can be voluntarily done without spending much. The budget for this is 2,500 pesos only since most of the expenses will go to the transportation, food, and other bills. And there is no need for providing a token of appreciation for benefactors who will support the program, as the program is for charity. A simple act of gratitude will do. Now, we move on to the conclusion.
To sum it all up, according to a study by Lee and Clancy, substance abuse among Filipino adolescents is a significant problem that requires attention. To raise awareness regarding substance abuse, our group has proposed two solutions, such as webinars and seminars, and recovery programs and rehabilitation. These proposed solutions come with different objectives, program flows, and budgets, which was previously discussed. Not only will this help guide our group, but it will also create clarity, motivation, accountability, and focus on achieving our goals.
Now we'll be showing you our infographics and public service announcement.
Okay, very good. Although it's really challenging for me to know whether you're just reading there or what, but hopefully, okay.
Drug addiction can lead to a life of darkness and
Baka
despair.
sa addict, eh.
It destroys families and ruins lives. But there is hope. Recovery is possible. It starts with a choice to live a life free from the grip of addiction.
Choose
Choose
life.
life.
There is a better way.
Find help
Interesting.
and support for addiction recovery.
All right, nice acting. Okay, round of applause. Good job. Good one. Diba? You have so many wows and claps there. Support, support. I thought support addiction, support for addiction recovery. I especially like the proposed solutions, very thorough. Okay, round of applause. Next group, group two. Guys, for the peer evaluation, all of you should evaluate each other, okay, from start to finish up to your presentation now. Although I have a separate grade for your presentation, individual grade, okay. But as you grade each other for the peer evaluation, not just the leader, but you can put there, of course, labels, leader, and so on, um, members. Okay. May 20 is the deadline.
Good morning, Miss. Can we start?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, good morning. We are Group 2, and today we are here to talk about an issue that affected countless individuals worldwide: the human immunodeficiency virus, popularly known as HIV. For those of you who may not know, this virus attacks the immune system and is transmitted through sexual contact. Sadly, this topic still remains a frequently stigmatized concept in the Philippines, with those who contract or maybe at risk of contracting the virus experiencing substantial discrimination. And it's heart wrenching to think that individuals who have already been dealt with such a devastating blow of the disease would then have to suffer from discrimination and judgment of the society. A recent report from the Department of Health have revealed a worrying increase in cases of HIV among adolescents, especially aged 10 to 19 years old. Imagine these are young people who are at the beginning of their journey through life, full of potential, dreams, and aspirations. But unfortunately, they are also at risk of contracting the virus. It is known to everyone, or most of you, that the virus has no known cure, but medical breakthroughs have made it manageable for most of us. While it is true that these medical breakthroughs are is helping, the truth, and we need to remember that prevention is better than cure. And so today we present to you our media campaign proposal.
Next slide, please. So we have here psycho-emotional dimension of HIV or AIDS. So these are the vulnerable people aged 15 to 24 years old, LGBTQ, transgender youth, and young people who use drugs or sell sex. So over the past decade, the researchers have collected that nearly 2 to 3-fold increases in HIV accompanied with mental health conditions. Especially they are depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and cognitive disorders. Over the past decade, therefore, it is important to develop coping mechanisms that could um, help them in overcoming their mental health. Next slide. As for the socioeconomic dimensions, there are three measures of SES: education attainment, household wealth, and expenditures. There are fewer young people who are able to enroll in a school because of their lack of financial. HIV pushes household and family into poverty since they can no longer work as the disease affects their health. And for the household expenditure, they can cut off their expenditure because they can no longer provide and cause an increase in indebtedness of HIV affected households.
Who was the last speaker again? Presenter?
Sandalo, miss.
Anna. Okay. Dead air, you guys.
I think our groupmate has Connective connectivity problems po, miss.
You're muted, miss.
Therese, who's which group member? Thank you.
Si Audrey po, miss.
Sige. If that's really her reason, then she can email me her part recorded though. Okay, so she will get a
We'll
score.
just skip the miss. We'll
You
skip.
read na lang. What do you
Okay.
mean? Sige. And then have her represent through a video recording her part. Okay, go ahead. So we can have a smooth lang ano.
Now, here we have social media as a tool for HIV/AIDS and awareness. Now, studies have shown that social media can be an effective way to educate young people about HIV prevention, testing, and treatment. Using social media to promote conversations and reduce stigma, we can spread love and help prevent the spread of HIV. In fact, a study in South Africa used WhatsApp to educate young women in rural areas about HIV prevention and testing. The result? Increased HIV testing and improved awareness and attitudes towards HIV. It just goes to show how much of an impact we can make by harnessing the power of social media. By harnessing the power of social media platforms, we can reach a wider audience and debunk myths surrounding HIV, emphasizing the importance of safe practices and regular testing. Together, we can foster an inclusive and supportive online community that empowers individuals to make informed decisions and take proactive steps towards ending the spread of HIV.
So now, what do we propose on doing? In line with our efforts to raise awareness on HIV, we're proposing a concert for a cause which will headline as Eyes Open, which will tentatively take place on the WHO World AIDS Day on December 1 of next year in City de Mare, SRP Cebu City. Now, you may be wondering, why a concert? This is because knowing the behavior and philosophy of our target demographic, we know that we should explore more ways of raising awareness aside from key speeches and webinars. Thus, through this concert, we hope for the message of the Spread Love Not HIV campaign to be amplified with the voices of artists whom the youth know and love. So aside from them performing their music, they shall also be sharing their stories and insights about HIV and share the spotlight with invited speakers who will be giving short, informative spiels in between performances. HIV themed stalls will be situated within the vicinity, and educational pamphlets shall serve as their passport in and out of the concert grounds. Now, more importantly, we hope to partner and collaborate with Love Yourself Incorporated, which is one of the country's top community led organizations who are offering HIV testing services all over the country. And their goal is for them to end the nationwide HIV epidemic by 2030. They will become our recipient for the proceeds of this event.
So I'm sure you're all wondering what to expect in our concert. So these are the highlights and moments to look forward to in our HIV awareness event. So we start with the opening performances and speeches, followed by our opening main act, which will be performed by the one and only Miss Universe 2018, Catriona Gray, singing her song "We're in This Together." After that, she will be giving her inspirational speech, and we have also performances by the local band Okaraga. And after that is a speech by a renowned HIV specialist here in Cebu. So lastly is our final act by the singer Adi. And everything ends with the amazing and fun foam party and firework display.
So, in order to make this event a successful one, we plan to start rigorous preparation 6 months prior by researching and reaching out to our desired artists and speakers. 4 months before the event, we hope to reach out to sponsors and partners. With 2 months to go, we will start the ticket selling period, and technical and logistic aspects will be finalized a month before the event. During the event, or I mean before the event, 1 week before, we will be sending reminders to our attendees. And after the event, we will be making proper evaluations and sending tokens of appreciation to all our constituents.
So aside from that, our event has many other special features such as a photo booth, face painting, t-shirt printing, art exhibits, merchandise booths, and food and refreshments. So in line with this is our budget here. So our budget consists of expenses equaling to 468,000 pesos, which comes from the venue, which is equal to 135,000, the speakers and performers for 247,000, and the special features and booths, which costed 86,000 pesos. So we decided to sell VIP tickets for 3,000, gold tickets for 1,000, and silver for 500, because we believe that these are the feasible amounts to make our event possible.
So, in conclusion, social media has been found to be an effective tool for raising young people's awareness of HIV as it offers an interactive and approachable means of disseminating information. Second, HIV and mental health are significantly associated with depression, anxiety, and post traumatic stress. Thus, it is essential to strengthen young people's coping strategies against HIV and mental health issues. Third, the findings of these studies emphasize the need for public health organizations and health professionals to incorporate social media and mental health into their plans for efficient HIV communication and prevention. Fourth, many people avoid getting tested and treated because of the stigma. It is considered that HIV is one of the biggest challenges that we face as a country. And lastly, throughout our campaign, we have utilized various media channels to disseminate accurate information about HIV, debunk myths and misconceptions, and promote safe practices. By leveraging these platforms, we hope to reach a wide audience, breaking down barriers and stigmas associated with HIV. Now, we will be presenting our infographics and public service announcement video, which aims to promote HIV awareness and reduce the stigma about HIV.
Can we, thank you, Shallow. Can we give a chance to Audrey so she doesn't have to record herself before you present your infographic and video? I think we still have time. Go, Audrey.
The vulnerable of the youth to HIV and AIDS. Adolescent HIV is a separate epidemic with 410,000 individuals with ages ranging from 10 to 24 contracted HIV and 150,000 of this number being young people between 10 to 9 years old in the Philippines. Screening for the youth has recently seen improvements after laws were amended to allow individuals below 18 years old to be tested without parental consent. The ABC philosophy for prevention is concise and simple, but proactive education should not be neglected. There are factors and barriers underlining how principles behind HIV prevention are received by a younger audience. Status and barriers to HIV/AIDS awareness and education among the youth. HIV awareness among adolescents has increased due to higher age, education, media, and urban environment. But there are still some sociocultural barriers which can prevent an informed conversation. A study observed how cultural double standards affect teenage boys and girls, and a survey among university students showed that perceived and vicarious stigma discourage teenagers and young adults from testing. It is important to understand the malleable nature of the youth's knowledge and attitudes in order to create comprehensive means for promulgating a generation with greater awareness of the virus.
So that is it for our presentation. We'll be showing our infographic and our public service announcement.
Duh. Okay. Lo, lo, lo. Okay, good job. Round of applause. Nice PSA, guys. And of course, as expected, thorough RRL and so on. It's just that for solutions, I still prefer that other than like events, there should be a solution that has a more lasting impact. Again, that's why I stressed in my instructions that you can have 2 to 3 solutions. One can be an event, and then the other one can be, let's say, oh, sorry, my video is off. Um, not organizing, but probably having a rehab or whatever organization you can establish. True, true. Okay, but all in all, very good still. Okay. Okay, next, especially the PSA with the actors. Okay, next, please.
Amir, please call. Yes. Ah, is it okay to start, Miss?
Go ahead, Angel. Oh yeah, Kim. Kim, are you here? How's attendance checking, Kim?
One ang absent, miss.
Ah, good. Sige. Ano na lang. Wait, who's absent now? Kim? Kim's absent.
Dayagan, miss.
Wait, mag-check na lang kung attendance, guys. Anyway, we still have time. Mm. Ay, wala namang gina si event. So everybody's here. Very good. Go ahead. Last group. Last group, right?
Yes, Miss. So, good morning, everyone. I am Angel May Gaputan, and together with me, my group mates, we will be sharing you our media campaign proposal, which is the dangers of overfishing in the Philippines. Next slide, please. So, we know that the world is facing numerous problems: poverty, deforestation, and pollution, among others. However, there remains an issue that's still ongoing and affecting the lives of people as well as marine life that we've constantly forgotten. One of the main causes of the reduction in ocean wildlife population is fishing. But overfishing occurs when both harvest more fish than the stocks can restock. Bycatch, a severe marine problem that results in the unnecessary deaths of billions of fish, as well as tens of thousands of sea turtles, is strongly related to overfishing. Next slide, please.
Moving on to the review of related literature, focused here are the effects and causes of overfishing. So Flores on 2004 argued that the Philippines' rich marine environment and productive fisheries are the main causes of the overfishing that occurred there. Only adult fish may be taken by fishermen. However, they opted to catch fish of all ages and exploit marine life. Additionally, the Philippines use illegal fish catching techniques like the moro-ami or drive-in net, which involves spreading a gear with 2 detachable wings and a movable magnet on reefs. Explosives are also used here in the country, such as dynamite, to destroy coral reefs and kill fish so that they will come up. Nevertheless, this will be a procedure that is carried out within permitted bounds like electrofishing, which is a technique that involves using electric generators to cripple or kill fish.
As for the effects, Grayson Bradley 2021 stated that overfishing and unsustainable fishing practices have caused a decline in catch in a number of bays, beaches, ports, and fisheries. He makes the case for the various consequences of drawbacks of overfishing. First, there can be negative effects on the ecosystem from overfishing and commercial extinction. Extinction significantly disrupts the food chain and can eliminate important species from the region. Second, several other species and creatures may suffer as a result of an ecological imbalance in an ecosystem.
We cannot guarantee that every creature will flourish and grow up as planned without ecological equilibrium. Last but not least, overfishing endangers many people and locals who depend on fishing as their main source of sustenance. The health of the populace will be at risk due to imbalanced water qualities, unhealthy living things, and other repercussions that of course would follow unhealthy fisheries. The food chain is disrupted and aquatic species perish as a result of the pollution rather of many water bodies today.
Next slide, please.
Overfishing is a complex issue, but the collaboration of local government units simplifies the approach. LGU enforces regulations for sustainable fishing practices. Marine protected areas are designated regions that conserve marine habitats and biodiversity. Working with the LGUs and establishing marine protected areas are crucial in addressing overfishing and protecting marine ecosystem. So here are the proposed solutions. Identify and select a small barangay as a target location. We will start as small as it is the most practical approach to take to solve a problem as big and as serious as overfishing in the Philippines. We can test possible solutions by targeting small barangays and scaling them up for a larger area. Moreover, starting small allows us for better project management and identifying potential challenges and solutions that can be addressed before proceeding to a larger project. Second, discussing with the local government units and presenting to them ideas aimed at solving the problem. Engaging in discussions with the local government and presenting them with ideas aimed at solving the problem of overfishing provides opportunities to work, learn, and address the problems with them. This way, LGUs will take the problem seriously, provide their support, and encourage the local community with the proposed solution.
So, the third step in solving overfishing here in the Philippines is reaching out to the local community and educating them to raise awareness and impart knowledge on what marine protected or MPAs are and its benefits. Building community support and promoting sustainable fishing practices to the local community can help build trust and increase compliance with the solution. Other than that, it can establish a sense of responsibility among the locals because it is part of their livelihood. And if no one starts solving this problem, they can be the first ones to take action for the betterment of the Philippines. Next is to start the project. After the barangay and the locals have agreed to the proposed solution, the start of the project will be done together with everybody who wants a change, even just a little, to improve both the marine environment and the livelihood of the people. Lastly, is to monitor and evaluate the project. Regular monitoring is needed to see if the locals are following the rules and regulations and if the MPAs are sustainable and successful. This will also include studying the project to see if it's good to apply to other places facing the same problems. So to change things, we must change things little by little. So the benefits of marine protected areas or MPAs are as follows. So first, it increases awareness and understanding of the importance of marine conservation. Second, encourages the local participation of marine conservatives. Third, establishes a sense of community ownership and responsibility for the preservation of marine habitats. Fourth, promotes sustainable fishing practices and reduce overfishing. Fifth, helps maintain and enhance the ecological health and biodiversity of marine ecosystems. Lastly, it enhances the economic benefits derived from marine resources like tourism and fishing. Next slide, please.
So, in conclusion, overfishing is a serious issue that occurs when fish populations are depleted at an unsustainable rate, which can lead to devastating consequences on society, the economy, and especially on marine ecosystems in the Philippines. The impacts of overfishing include the threat to fishermen's livelihoods, threats to food security, and the endangerment of those who rely on seafood for food and nutrition. Additionally, overfishing can create ecological imbalances, disrupt food chains, and lead to an extinction of marine species. Thus, to address this issue, we propose partnering with local government units to enforce laws and regulations that can reduce unsustainable fishing practices and establish more marine protected areas to conserve and manage marine ecosystems. Our action plan also includes selecting a small barangay as a target location to test the proposed solutions, discussing the effectiveness of the solutions of the solutions with the local government unit, and educating the local communities on overfishing, sustainable fishing, marine protected areas, and its benefits. By taking these steps, we can work towards mitigating the effects of overfishing and enhancing the protection on the marine environments and creatures. And now we will be sharing to you our infographic and the public service announcement. Please, next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Every day, more and more marine species are being endangered because of overfishing. But millions of people rely on fishing as their livelihood. This goes to show how overfishing harms more than just the marine environment.
Oh, what should I do? My profit is not enough to feed my siblings.
Solving an issue that's been going on for years is never an easy task. But with the help of the local government units along with our teamwork, solving overfishing will be a lot
Lagsikas
easier to
Begar, oy.
approach.
And so we say, it is time for us to take action.
For our Mother Nature.
For the economy.
For all the people.
For the betterment of the world.
And for
Okay. Internet issues. All right. Okay, great job. Now, round of applause for the last group. I like the solutions. Yes, that was what I meant by with a lasting impact. Anyway, of course, there is nothing wrong with, again, other solutions. These are so well thought out anyway. Although for the other problems, including the last, what do you call this, presentations, I think education can also be a good solution, like um, strengthening curriculum, okay, for certain topics like teenage pregnancy, strengthening curriculum in sex education, for teenage pregnancy, HIV, mental health, even mental health, and yeah, more discussions in the curriculum or in the classrooms, I suppose, can be a lasting one too. Yeah, overall, very good, everyone. Good job. Thank you for being a wonderful class. Although honestly, I felt that some were still reading. Promise. Okay, because you were so fluent and flawless. You had to repeat a word, kamujud. Okay, but yeah, it's better if I rated you when we're face to face. Yep. Okay. Although I also saw the effort, let's say, of London here and a few others now, with conviction and presentation skills. So I'm particular about that because this is all about, also this is communication. So it's not just writing, but also about speaking. And yeah, so hopefully you learn a lot this time in terms of communication. This will be your last topic about communication, because I believe that in your future career, there's not much discussion on communication strategies, etc. But yeah, I'm sure you will learn the ropes also, um, as you interact with other group members, other organization members in the future. So be a good communicator, not just technically, but also ethically, speaking. Um, let's all be good communicators. Okay, thank you guys, and fighting for your departmental on Friday. Hope you'll get the score that you like or you desire to have. Okay, bye everyone. Thanks. See you around.
thank you, Miss.
Future.
Goodbye, miss. Thank you,
Bye,
miss.
and
Bye,
thank you,
everyone.
Miss.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.